Hey second graders, today we are going to be talking about adding books that you have read to your reader's notebook. So when you go to add a book that you've read to your notebook, you're going to look for the blue tab that says books I read, and then you're going to go to the first open number. So for me, my first open number was 2. You may not have added any books to your notebook yet, and that's okay. It might say 1, or you might have a higher number if you've added a couple. So right at the top, we have 2 words, title and author. We are also going to add in a third really important fact and key detail from the book, which is the illustrator. So right here on this line, I'm going to write illustrator. And I'm going to get in the habit of doing that every time I add a book because it's important to also know who's drawn the pictures in a story. So when you are adding a book to your reader's notebook, it's good to have the book nearby, or if it's a digital book, have it pulled up on the computer. The first thing you're going to write is the title. So the title of the book I'm adding today is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. A lot of you might have heard of it before. I'm going to make sure to use correct capitalization and have all of the important words of my title with capital letters, and I can follow along with the book to help me. And I need to go on to the second line, and that's okay. That's what it's there for. So now that I've written the title, I'm going to go ahead and add the author. So I can see right here it says written by Judy Barrett. So I know that written by means it's the author. So I'm going to write Judy Barrett, and I'm going to make sure, again, to capitalize the first letter of her first name and the first letter of her last name. I'm checking to make sure I've got the spelling correct. Okay, now we're going to add the illustrator. So on the book it says drawn by Ron Barrett. Drawn by is another way that you can say illustrated by. So that helps me to know that that's the person who did the pictures in the story. I'm noticing that the author and the illustrator have the same last name. I wonder if they're related. All right, my friends, this book had 1 author and 1 illustrator. Sometimes books can have more than 1, so make sure that you're paying attention to that. And if you need to write more than 1, you can separate them using a comma. All right, so let's talk now about the illustrating part of when you are adding to the books you have read. You want to draw a picture that helps you remember the book. So this is what I've decided to draw for Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I went with something kind of like the cover that would help me remember what this story was about. So you can see I've added lots of details. When second graders color, they use more than 3 colors. So I've got my 2 different colored clouds, and then I have red sauce, meatballs, and spaghetti falling from the sky. And then right here, I've got the grandpa, or the old man from the story, who is holding a plate out to catch a meatball, and he's got his silverware in his back pocket. So I decided to add these details to help me remember what the story was about, and because I had fun drawing it. It was one of my favorite scenes in the movie when it was raining meatballs. Movie and book, when it was raining meatballs. So again, when you're adding a book to the books that you've read, you do the title, author, and illustrator, and then you draw a picture to help you remember. It's a really great idea to do this with books you've read, because then if you're talking about a book and you can't remember who the author was or what it was called, you can flip through your reader's notebook to find it. So what I would like for you guys to do is, when this video is done, I would like you to find a book that you've read, and I would like you to add it to your reader's notebook, and then draw a picture to help you remember. All right, kiddos, happy reading, happy drawing, happy writing.